Blog Talk Radio.
Out at foggy midfield, muddy midfield. Although they've done a heck of a job getting the field ready, they just tossed the coin to start the proceedings. Silverback looking.
Welcome to NBS Central Startem Sitem show, hosted by True X, the sports junkie, and J Franchise, where we'll give our weekly fantasy sports predictions and analysis. Now, let's start the show.
Yeah, baby. What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Startem Sitem Fantasy Football Show on NBS Central Radio. Of course, I'm your host, True X, the sports junkie, True X, the fantasy guru, True X, the fantasy legend. Of course, I got the homie in the building. Mr. I get the first pick in the draft every year because I'm terrible at fantasy. My boy, KEO.
I don't know why you gotta be so disrespectful in the morning. Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's KEO, and I'm looking forward to tonight's show, and I'm ready, man. That's all I gotta say.
All right, well, we definitely going to touch on a lot of things. You know, preseason kicks off. We're going to talk about that. We're going to even talk about, some drafting strategy. But the first thing first, we're going to address the elephant in the room. I said last week on this show that Alvin Kamara is my new number one in PPR leagues. Now, of course, standard leagues, I may lean towards a Saquon Barkley or even somebody that I feel is going to get more touches as far as running the football where they won't get points for catching it. But I only play in PPR leagues, so basically what I give information out on this show is more towards PPR leagues. So Alvin Kamara is my new number one. For everybody that's tuned into this show and has followed me on Instagram or Facebook or KEO, we've had this discussion. Prior to last week, Zeke Elliot was my number one guy on my big board. Out of anybody in the NFL, I wanted Zeke. But Zeke is holding out, and it seems to be getting real right now because now fantasy drafts are really happening right now. How far has Zeke dropped on your big board, KEO?
As far as him dropping, he's actually still in my top 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I had them in the top 2. I originally had them in the top 2. Then the week before that, I had them in the top 3. Then a couple of days later, I had him in the top 4. Now he's dropped to number 5. I feel like with that talent, man, I just can't believe that the Cowboys would let that go to waste because that's, nearly over 50% of their offense. That's what, you got to establish a running game, and there's no better consistent running back than Zeke Elliott. So I just feel like they will eventually get the deal done. I don't think they're going to get it done during training camp, but I just think they'll get it done, and he'll be on the field in week 1. But as of right now, I got him in my top 5. But am I worried? Of course I'm worried right now. So, but I don't have him dropping that far though. But he's still in my top 5, definitely for sure.
Okay, so let me ask you this, KEO. Right now in the fantasy draft, you have the 5th pick in the draft, and I'm just going to guess. I could be wrong about my guess, but you let me know. Okay, so you have the 5th pick in the draft. Alvin Kamara is off the board. Saquon Saquon Barkley's off the board. Christian McCaffrey's off the board. And I'm going to take a stab at it. I'm going to say Todd Gurley's off the board. So with the 5th pick, you're telling me you're going to take Zeke Elliott in the fantasy draft.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy, though, because people talk about, they questioning if they should pay running backs. But we all know in fantasy football, running backs is a position that you have to get. Running backs are the most valuable positions, and if you don't get a running back, you could hurt your chances of possibly making the playoffs. And running backs really go quick, especially in the first round. So you have to, man. I it's a risk, but I have to take it. But I like my chances better than somebody like a Melvin Gordon. So if you want to talk somebody's draft stock, that's somebody.
And we actually, I was actually going to get into that with you after the season. We're going to talk about that. So you would feel confident in taking Zeke Elliott at 5, knowing the situation, over somebody like a Le'Veon Bell?
Yes, I would.
Wow. Okay. Well, I gotta respect that. That's what you got him, number 5. So for everybody out there that's tuned in, that's gonna tune in, Zeke Elliott has officially dropped out my top 5 right now. I cannot take a chance like that in fantasy. Your first overall pick, your top 3 pick, your top 5 pick, even in your top 10, you don't want to screw it up. You don't want to screw it up. If Zeke doesn't play, you're basically out of the equation of winning the championship unless you trade him. He comes back and you trade him. But if it's like a Le'Veon Bell situation, I know some people were lucky enough to get off of Le'Veon Bell last year's trade, but the person that traded for him, none of those people won championships. If you had Le'Veon Bell in your team last year, I don't know nobody. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure somebody did. But in all the leagues that I play in, and you're talking about multiple leagues, not 2 or 3 or 4, 5, more than that. 5 plus every year, probably about 7 to 9 range. I know no one that won a championship last year with Le'Veon Bell in that league. And I'm not talking about the leagues that I'm playing, the people that I talk to that play fantasy football. I know no one that won a championship last year that had Le'Veon Bell on their team. Now, for me, Zeke, if you're in the back end of the top 10 seats and you're at 8, 9, 10, yeah, I can see you taking Zeke. Me personally, I would probably stay away from Zeke in the first round. If it's a 10-man standard league, fantasy draft. Zeke just scares me. I'm taking Le'Veon Bell if I got the 5th pick over Zeke. I would even start considering wide receivers, elite wide receivers like DeAndre Hopkins over Zeke. If it's a league like the NBS league where quarterbacks score 6 per touchdown, I would definitely consider Patrick Mahomes over Zeke right now. I would consider Travis Kelce because we know how big of a drop-off it is at tight end in fantasy football. You don't have to take Travis Kelce. Some people say going first round is ludicrous because you still got guys like Zach Ertz that's probably going to the 6th, 7th round. That's not a big drop-off. But after Zach Ertz and Jerry Cook and Delaney Walker, those guys, really it's a huge drop-off. It's a huge drop-off. If you don't get like the top 6, 7 tight ends, man, you're going to be struggling this year. So for me, I would say Zeke has dropped out of my first round as of now. If he's number 10, then yeah, you can take the chance on him and maybe trade him. But if you're keeping him on your team, I think it's gonna be all bad. So that's just my perspective on Zeke. And Zeke was my number 1 guy, so it's not like I'm, thinking that he's not talented enough. I'm just really concerned about this. Now, okay, KEO, I just said Zeke. What about Melvin Gordon? KEO? Do we have KEO on the line?
Okay, sorry about that. But you mentioned Melvin Gordon. he's dropped significantly. I just feel like Zeke has a better chance to sign compared to Melvin Gordon because Melvin, the Chargers, they do got some decent running backs, man, and I like what I see from them compared to the Cowboys. You know, you don't really know who's the running backs. I know that they signed Alfred Morris, but you know they got two other random guys potentially trying to fill in that void, and that's nearly impossible. You know, to get that in there, and then the Chargers, they feel confident that you know they could feel somebody like a Austin Eckler or Justin Jackson in there. And that's why his stock has dropped significantly. The difference is with this one is between Zeke and Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon was offered a contract. Zeke has yet been offered one. That's a huge difference, and that's why Melvin Gordon, his stock has dropped dramatically. I'm talking about like maybe towards the fourth or fifth round.
Wow.
For Melvin Gordon, man. So there's a lot of running backs that, you know, I would take over Melvin Gordon. I would take a James White over Melvin Gordon. I would take a Joe Mixon over Melvin Gordon. I would even take a Tevin Coleman over Melvin Gordon. I'll take a Tariq Cohen over Melvin Gordon, despite possibly sharing time with the rookie David Montgomery. So Gordon has dropped significantly. I think if we had a segment called "Which player should we stay away from?" that's the player I'm going to stay away from, Melvin Gordon, man. I like Melvin Gordon, man. I had the opportunity to see him, transition from Wisconsin to the NFL, but this is a bad look, man, for Melvin Gordon, man. So I definitely would stay away from him, and he has definitely dropped out of the fourth or fifth round. So I'm definitely staying away from him. But if somebody has an opportunity to snatch up somebody like a Justin Jackson, I would actually try to get Melvin Gordon if he's still in those later rounds. But he's definitely has dropped, though.
So, let me ask you this before I go. What makes, if you don't even know Zeke, I know you said you think Zeke's going to play. Do you think Melvin Gordon is going to play this year?
No, because I don't think. Well, when you're in management, they feel some type of way now because they offered him something, and then he feels like he deserves more. And then he comes out and says, "Hey, you don't give me what I want. Then trade me." And for a management, those guys don't play. So I just feel like I just don't think he's gonna play. There's a small little chance I feel like he is gonna play, but the chances are really going down and really slim right now for Melvin Gordon.
So that means a lot because I was like, okay, you drop Melvin Gordon to the fourth or fifth round and still have Zeke in your top five. But I'm more concerned about Zeke than I am Melvin Gordon. But with that being said, I still agree with you as far as Melvin Gordon dropping lower than Zeke. Even though I'm more concerned about Melvin Gordon, I just think that Zeke was my number one guy. The risk is bigger with Zeke because, yeah, you may bust, but you could really boom with Zeke. Do I expect Melvin Gordon to lead the league in rushing? No. Do I think Melvin Gordon could be really good? Yeah, but I think Austin Eckler will, take some catches from him for sure. Justin Jackson will probably take some carries from him this year if he stays in Los Angeles. With Zeke, it's all Zeke show in Dallas. You're going to get all of Zeke. So, for me, Melvin Gordon has dropped out of the first round officially. Really, he's dropped out of the second round. I think that's a little too high. So, all my fantasy owners out there, if you draft Melvin Gordon in the second round, I think that you're risking a lot. But now, if you draft him in the third round, I'm okay with that. Third round is not a bad round to draft Melvin Gordon. I will say this about Melvin Gordon before we move forward. Melvin Gordon, though he's dropping on the board, could instantly move back into the first round if he gets traded. So let's say like a Houston or a Green Bay. I think KEO would agree with that, right, KEO?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if Melvin Gordon was to get traded, to a team that can use a running back, that's gonna put all their eggs into Melvin Gordon and say, you know what, this is our guy. This is how we'll work hard. I can definitely see a scenario where he can move back into the first round. It does depend on where he goes. I mean, he can't just sit there and go to a team like, let's just say, New Orleans. He won't become a first-round pick then, but he'll be, a good little draft pick in the third round. If they would get rid of Latavius Murray and go with Melvin Gordon. I think that's highly unlikely they would do that, but I'm just throwing names out there for you guys. But I do think Melvin Gordon does have some value if he gets traded to another team. With the Chargers, to me, he's a third-round pick right now, and it's not going to change. Even if he signs a deal with the Chargers, I still don't like him till about the second or third round because I just think that it's going to be a bitter taste in all of their mouths. So that's where I am with that. All right, KEO. So we got to see some preseason a little bit. Some people show flashes. Some people not so much. I call this stock up, stock down. And I really don't want to incorporate Melvin Gordon or Zeke because they didn't play and we just spoke about them. Give me 3 or 4, maybe even 5 guys that your stock is up on, and then give me some guys that your stock is down on, and tell us why.
A stock that's definitely up, and I've been high on this dude. I just as obviously you know where I'm going at because I'm talking about the Raiders. So the stock that's going up, I'm rolling with Tyrell Williams, man. Tyrell Williams. When I found out that the Raiders were signing him, I was like, damn, I like this signing, man, because okay, you look at this. He was the number 2 or 3 option in San Diego. He had the last 2 seasons when he was with San Diego, he averaged about 40 receptions throughout the whole season, and then he had 500, 600 yard seasons. Now you go to Oakland, especially what's happening to Antonio Brown right now. His stock is going up. He's the number 1 option now for that team, and I definitely like Tyrell Williams. Dude, I like Tyrell Williams so much. He's actually in my bench on one of my fantasy teams right now. I'm actually willing to trade one of my starting wide receivers right now so I could move Tyrell Williams to that starting position.
Wow.
Yeah, and just to let you know, those 2 starting wide receivers, there's some decent wide receivers, man, and that's T.Y. Hilton and Jarvis Landry, and I'm open to trade both of them so I could move Tyrell Williams into that wide receiver 2 or possibly 1. So Tyrell Williams, I think his stock has definitely gone up, and even if Antonio Brown does decide to play, I think he's still going to get production because Brown's going to draw up a lot of attention regardless of where he's on the field, and if he's not, that's even better for Williams. Now, my number 2 guy, I'm going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had a good showing in their preseason game, and James Washington, man, it looks like he could possibly be the number 2 or he is the number 2 wide receiver, and I like what I saw from him this past week. and he showed that he could possibly be a clear-cut number 2. He was, that in the routes he was running, it was similar to, the routes that Antonio Brown was running, the crossing routes, the sideline routes, and I like this. I like what he's been able to do. So I'm rolling with James Washington. I know you mentioned 3, so I'm going to mention 2 more guys, and they actually play for the same team. One is a running back, and that's Royce Freeman. Royce Freeman had about 49 yards and 3 carries. That was definitely huge for him. People were high on him last year, and I think this is the year where, he picks it up, and he got a great preseason. And in the when as far as rookies go, the game is so fast in there. So now they're going into their second season, and they're familiar with the playbook. The game's gonna slow down for them, so they're gonna get more comfortable in that NFL speed. So I like Royce Freeman as stock has definitely gone up. And last but not least, I'm going with quarterback, man. I like Drew Lock for the Denver Broncos also. Drew Lock, I know he threw for an interception. He also threw for a touchdown pass. I think he was 17 for 28, over 200. That was pretty impressive, man, especially for a rookie. I think he had one of the best rookie debuts as far as quarterbacks go. So that's a stock has definitely gone up for me. So those are my 3.
Okay, well, we'll just talk down after I do my stock up. My stock up goes to some guys that, I'm going to be honest with y'all, 2 of them for sure I wasn't going to draft at all. I didn't see no scenario where I was going to draft these guys. And now, it's especially like in the NBS league, I may consider. And I'm going to start with one that KEO just named, Royce Freeman. I never considered drafting Royce Freeman this year, going into the season, just because of what Philip Lindsay did last year. I felt like, okay, Philip Lindsay, he may be the guy over there now. Though he's small in stature, so is Alvin Kamara, so is Christian McCaffrey. These guys, they're gonna get the ball in the backfield. They're gonna run. Royce Freeman had his shot. He blew it. But after watching the preseason game, I'm starting to see the hype that they had in Royce Freeman last year. What still scares me about Royce Freeman is, though, last preseason he was decent. So I want to see a little bit more, but now I'm starting to believe maybe we might have a 2-back system with Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman, where you can draft Royce Freeman on the back end of a draft and maybe just see what's going to happen with him. Because before, for me, he was undraftable. I wasn't even going to draft him. I wasn't going to touch him. I was going to let everybody else draft him. Now I'm considering drafting him. My next guy, I can't even believe I'm saying this. I really can't even believe I'm about to say this. Daniel Jones. I think he's going to take Eli Manning's spot this year. He's going to become the quarterback of the New York Giants. The Giants, he looks great. 5 for 5. This dude, I know it's a vanilla defense. I know he's not really getting no real serious looks. But at some point, the Giants have to move on from Eli. They're not going to the playoffs this year. They're not going to win the Super Bowl. They're not a contender. You got a young guy in Saquon Barkley. That's a stud. Let's find out if you have the quarterback for the future. You took him high in the draft. Let's just see if he's the guy. I just don't see the benefit in starting Eli Manning this year. Eli Manning can sit behind Daniel Jones. I'm not even sure if you start Eli the first couple of weeks. But if you lose, it's time to move on with a Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is definitely now draftable to me, in especially a 2-quarterback league. He's somebody that you want to draft and stash away for the back end of the season. He could be a guy that he could take it down to Saquon Barkley and Saquon Barkley could break for a long run. And I will even also say this. If Daniel Jones is the guy, Saquon Barkley's stock goes up for me. And y'all already know how I feel about Saquon Barkley. I think he's a top 5 back, but now I start to see that number 1 overall pick if Daniel Jones is the guy. So don't be surprised. I have 2 drafts today. If I get the number 1 pick in one of those drafts, I may take Saquon Barkley number 1 now because I see the potential in Daniel Jones.
The tables have turned.
Okay, obviously I'm not going to come and talk and lie to my viewers. If I get the first pick, I'm taking Alvin Kamara. But if I get the second pick, I may take Saquon Barkley. But I will say Saquon Barkley's stock rises if Daniel Jones is the starting quarterback. If it's Eli, not so much to me. Eli takes too many gambles. He'll put your team in a hole. Whereas Daniel Jones will play it safe. They'll try to beat everybody defensively by running the ball, to time possession, and do it the right way without trying to have so many turnovers. And to me, that's a recipe for Saquon Barkley being the number 1 overall pick. With Eli, on the other hand, Eli's going to take risks. He's going to throw interceptions, pick sixes, which is going to have you behind the 8 ball where you can't run the football no more, which is in turn going to hurt Saquon Barkley. So that's a huge thing in fantasy right now. Pay close attention to who gets that starting quarterback position. But I will say Daniel Jones has climbed up my board, and I am interested in drafting him now. He wasn't draftable at all for me before. And last but definitely not least, this guy was draftable. He was actually a guy that I considered a top 20 player at his position. And now I'm thinking more top 15. And I may be being premature, but I'm talking about my Heisman Trophy winner from a year ago, Kyler Murray. He just looks so comfortable in that offense. He looks way too comfortable. Like, they look like they could be dangerous. For all my real sports fans out there, RG3 made it to the playoffs his rookie year. He has that RG3 feel in him. New coach, new quarterback, got talent around them, Larry Fitzgerald, David Johnson. These guys' stock has rose. Like, I want to say this. There's a chance, I know KEO talks about Zeke Elliot being 5. If David Johnson's sitting there, now I'm starting to think to myself, should I take David Johnson? He does have a quarterback that you have to prepare for. So for me, Kyler Murray can change the whole dynamic. We saw what Alfred Morris did his first year in the league with RG3. I think 1,400-something yards rushing. Man, that looks good for David Johnson right now. So the Cardinals as a whole, I'm high on, but I want to say, man, Kyler Murray is moving up my draft board. I am seriously considering taking him as a top 15 quarterback right now. All right, KEO. Unfortunately, as we have the people that have climbed up the board, we have those that have dropped. Who's the people that stock is down, that just their stock is down on your board?
A stock that's down on my board. I'm gonna go with I'm going with LaShawn McCoy. Buffalo played a game this past week, and their running back, he had a great showing, man. McCoy, he's not getting any younger, and I just feel like with this team that he's with right now, I just feel like his time is running up. I feel like eventually they will cut one of these running backs, and that I don't think they're just going to cut one of those running backs. I think they're going to cut 2 of those running backs. And I just think one of them will be Frank Gore, one of them will be LaShawn McCoy. So their definitely stock has definitely gone down. And the running back I was talking about is Christian Wade. That's the running back I was talking about. But as far as the stock has dropped, I'm going with LaShawn McCoy. His stock has definitely dropped dramatically. So that's a guy that I'm definitely staying away from. Another guy that I'm gonna mention right now is I'm gonna mention the Kansas City running back Damian Williams. I think his stock is gonna be has definitely dropped because Darwin Thompson, the rookie, he had an impressive showing in preseason. Also, he had 5 carries for 22 yards. He caught a touchdown reception for 29 yards. And Darwin Thompson, man, he might be threatening Damian Williams' position right now. And then you still got Carlos Hyde back there, so. Damian Williams, he's not a for sure thing. I know a lot of people like Damian Williams at that position right now, but right now it's not a good look for Damian Williams. And the third one that I'm gonna go after is the 49ers receivers, man. I think I would stay away from anybody that's a 49ers wide receivers except Deebo Samuel. They got rid of Marquise Goodwin. They had one of their wide receivers who went down for an ACL injury. Now possibly Jalen Hurd, who used to be a running back at Tennessee, and now he's being transitioned to a wide receiver. He's gonna fill in. He's gonna be their slot wide receivers. So you got some young wide receivers over there. George Kittle's gonna get a lot of attention. I know a lot of fantasy owners are high on Kittle, but if there's anybody that stock has definitely gone down, is the 49ers wide receiver, and I would definitely stay away from them. So that's my 3 so far.
All right. Well, my 3, one, and I want to be honest with y'all. When I say these stocks are down, I'm just thinking to myself there's red flags for some of these guys. I'm starting to be a little hesitant because I see things brewing that maybe you don't see right now. First guy on my list is Marcus Mariota. And everybody be like, well, what you mean, Marcus Mariota? In the offseason, the Titans went and did Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill was an overpaid quarterback in my mind a lot of years in Miami. And the Dolphins finally decided that, look, he's just not the guy. Ryan Tannehill had some up years. Ryan Tannehill played really good the other night versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, I think he went 12 to 16, or I think like a buck something with a touchdown or 2. I'm just saying, if Marcus Mariota struggles, they may go to Ryan Tannehill. And that's something to me, that's a red flag. They went out there and got a young quarterback like Ryan Tannehill that has experience as a starting quarterback. They basically saying to Mariota, either you show up or you're gonna have company where you're gonna have a competition with Ryan Tannehill. And Tannehill did look good against the Eagles. So I'm a little weary of Marcus Mariota right now. He's dropped us slightly on my board. Before he was a top 20 quarterback. I'm probably on the back end of a top 20 quarterback now. Probably like around the 22 range for me. Not a huge drop, but definitely a drop. whereas he probably was like 16 to me before. Now he's like 22. So for me, Marcus Mariota is dropping, and if Tannehill keeps playing well in these preseason games, it could be bad for Mariota to me. So, yeah, Mariota's my first guy. My next guy, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but what I saw from Daniel Jones and I saw from Kyler Murray, I didn't see from Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins was a guy that was outside my top 20 as far as quarterbacks, but still nonetheless draftable. I would have took him over Eli Manning. There's no doubt about it for me. I would have taken him over Eli Manning. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't take him over Eli, but now I'm having reservations or second thoughts of would I take him over Daniel Jones? Because Daniel Jones, to me, has a weapon like Saquon Barkley, and then when you get to the playoffs, that could be somebody that you can draft and stash away that can really pay dividends on the back end. So that raises the eyebrow. I would definitely not draft him over Kyler Murray. So Dwayne Haskins, for me, is dropping. Another guy, and KEO's going to laugh when I say this, that's dropping. And it's not even because the way he played in the preseason, because I don't even think he played the first game that I saw. And I told KEO this the other day, and I'm talking about Marlon Mack.
Wow.
Marlon Mack. I can't remember who they just traded for, KEO, the coach.
Dante Foreman.
Yeah, Deontay Foreman. They just signed Deontay, or they traded for Deontay Foreman, one of them, from the Houston Texans. That, to me, raised the red flag. That scares me. Because if you really thought Marlon Mack was the guy, you have Hines still to help out in that backfield, why are you going to get Deontay Foreman? It makes no sense to me. It's scary. And Marlon Mack is dropped off my board. Not dropped off my board, obviously, but definitely not where I thought he was going to be. I have Marlon Mack as a top 10 running back, and there's no way in the world I'm drafting Marlon Mack as a top 10 running back right now. I can tell you right now, there is no way in the world I am drafting Marlon Mack top 10. If I had the 10th draft, it would not happen. I would not take Marlon Mack now over Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb actually has grown on me. I didn't put him in my people that has climbed. But Nick Chubb, okay, I'll put it like this. I would take Sony Michel over Marlon Mack now.
What?
So you know that I'm not stunting. I mean, I do have Sony Michel on one of my teams right now. I actually like Sony Michel. But it just goes to show you that little moves for me can dictate how well I think you're gonna be. I would definitely take David Johnson over Marlon Mack now. And David Johnson really wasn't even somebody I thought about drafting before I saw Kyler Murray play. I thought David Johnson coming off an injury, Kyler Murray being a rookie. I wasn't really sold on David Johnson this year. Now I'm taking David Johnson. David Johnson's a bona fide top 10 pick right now. There's no way. Leonard Fournette, he hasn't even been healthy, and I would take him over Marlon Mack now. So, yeah, Marlon Mack is definitely dropping on my board. I can't even tell you that I'll even draft him now in any other league that I have. It's not that I think he's going to be bad. He could be really good still. But I just don't like the Dante Foreman signing. So he's my last guy that I can really and truly say he's dropped because he's dropped so far on my board. It's ridiculous. I know we brought up Melvin Gordon earlier. I would take Melvin Gordon over Marlon Mack for sure. For sure. And he's not even signed to the team. He's not even practicing. I would take him over Marlon Mack. So Marlon Mack just scares me. Okay, I kind of switched it up, but we're gonna go back to something else right now, KEO.
Okay.
And I was gonna put it in the top 3 things to talk about, but we have to talk about it. This is the Startem Sitem show, fantasy football. The people want to know what's up with Antonio Brown, man. What's up with Antonio Brown, man? Are you drafted Antonio Brown used to be in the argument for the number 1 overall pick. Antonio Brown is now with the Raiders. Where are you drafting Antonio Brown, and are you concerned with the situation that he's in right now, KEO? I know you like Tyrell Williams.
I am concerned with the situation. I feel like eventually he will play, but man, I don't have time for that, man. I got drafts to deal with, and I really don't need any distractions right now, man. So I'm definitely staying away from him. And you want to talk about the stock dropping? His stock has definitely dropped for me. Yesterday in a league, one of the leagues I'm in, I seen somebody just traded Antonio Brown, and he got back. It wasn't the top elite wide receivers, but he got back somebody decent, and it was a trade. So I saw somebody trade Antonio Brown for Amari Cooper. I was like, damn, man, people shopping Brown like that. And if I had Antonio Brown, I would definitely trade him right now. Trade him right now, especially with him having some type of value right now. Once you get towards deep into the draft and towards the end of August, I feel like Brown's value is going to drop if you don't hear anything. And just to make this clear, I have a friend that actually works for the Oakland Raiders, and he has told me that his issue isn't with the Raiders. His issue is more with the NFL. So whenever he addresses those issues and comes to terms with the league, then you'll see him play. But as of right now, no Antonio Brown. But he has definitely dropped on my list, and he's probably has dropped probably to a third rounder as of right now. So I would definitely take guys like who's out there. I would take guys like Amari Cooper over him, Stephon Diggs over him, T.Y. Hilton over him. So his status has significantly dropped, and I just feel bad. I don't feel bad for him. I feel bad for the Raiders for spending all those money and risking those draft picks to get him, and you get this, and he just possibly might walk away.
Definitely. Well, I'm gonna just say this: Antonio Brown is off of my draft board. I'm going to say that again for all my fantasy people out there, because last year I said the same thing about Le'Veon Bell, and people thought I was crazy. I said I would not draft Le'Veon Bell. I can promise you, unless Antonio Brown just drops so far that I just have to take a chance on it, I can promise you I am not drafting Antonio Brown. Everybody in fantasy world, I'm not saying he won't have a good year if he plays. I'm not saying that at all. But now, I saw an interview with Antonio Brown where he said he's good without football. He's good. Like he said, bro, this is that I'm quoting him. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm still quoting him. He said, I'm $30 million up. My house is paid for. I don't need football. You're not going to undervalue Antonio Brown. I know who I am as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I've made over $100 million in contract, and I'm up $30 million. I don't need football. I'm good. Do I want to play? And he kind of shrugged and was like, yeah, but do I need it? No, I'm okay with walking away right now. That, to me, we always tell kids, I coach football for everybody out there. I tell kids all the time, if you don't want to play, then don't get on the football field. If you're not 100% committed, I'm not saying Antonio Brown's not, but from that statement, I don't think that, his heart's all the way in it. He's more like, okay, I made my money, I'm good. I can go live a good life now. I can go do something else, maybe get into acting. Antonio Brown is, somebody that people do think is entertaining with the way he dresses and the way his hairstyles are and his my fantasy team, I am truly somebody that takes everything into consideration. Y'all just heard what I said about Kyler Murray and how he pushed up David Johnson's draft status. Y'all just heard me. I'm the same person that said I would not take Saquon Barkley number one. And I wouldn't even – I think the Johnson would be terrible. Now I'm thinking about taking Saquon Barkley high end. Well, he's always been high end, but number one, number two, because Daniel Jones may start. I put everything into perspective when I'm about to draft. And Antonio Brown, for me, is a no-go. I'm not trading for him unless I see him on the field doing special things with Derek Carr. But I don't see it right now. There's no value for me. He's a guy that I'm definitely staying away from. And KEO said third round. If Antonio Brown drops to the third round, maybe you take him. But I even then, I still can't see myself taking him over a guy like Zach Ertz. And Zach Ertz, I don't think is a third rounder. So it's hard pressed for me for you to see True X the Sports Junkie draft Antonio Brown. There's so many guys. I just told y'all that Marlon Mack is dropped off on my board, and I would take Marlon Mack over Antonio Brown. And I just told y'all I'd take Tony Michel over Marlon Mack. So just start thinking about putting the pieces together, how I'm saying Antonio Brown is dropped off my board. I don't trust it. I don't trust that situation. I am completely staying away from Antonio Brown. And I will agree with KEO on this. Tyrell Williams' draft status is climbing. His is climbing right now. I can see where he could have a really good year this year and be a solid, contributor to your fantasy team. All right, KEO. Here we go, baby. We're going to release it to everybody out there who are most people playing a 10, 12, at the most 16 fantasy league, set number of people in the league. But we're going to do top 10. I want you to give me your top 10. This is basically our last topic for the evening. We might go into a little bit more, but this is our real last topic. If KEO wants to bring something up on the back end, we'll talk about it. But your top 10 players on or in the draft or on the draft board right now, in the order that you would draft them. If you had the first pick, tell me who you would take. If you had the second pick and your first pick was gone, who would you take? Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all the way to 10th. Let's hear it for the people out there.
All right. So starting off, number one, I've had them number one from the jump, and mine hasn't changed as far as him being number one. And the first guy that I'm taking is I'm taking Saquon Barkley, number one. I'm staying behind it, and I'm not budging, man. I like Saquon Barkley at a solid number one right now, and we're talking about PPR leagues. I just wanted to throw that out there. Number two, I'm going with Alvin Kamara. I feel like just the way that offense is designed, they're gonna run that offense behind him. He could definitely catch out in the backfield. He not just these checkdowns and screen passes. He could run a deep route and catch the ball. And Kamara is a huge man in fantasy football this year. So his stock has climbed to number 2 or 1. So I got at number 2. Number 3, I'm rolling with Christian McCaffrey at number 3. Christian McCaffrey, I think the offense is going to continue going around him, especially with Cam Newton. We don't even know if he's 100% or not. So I got him at number 3. Number 4, this is actually a surprise to people, but Number 4, man. I have to, man. And I'm taking Patrick Mahomes at number 4. I think, especially what he was able to do last season, and I like what he has in store for this season, man. He got a lot of young weapons out there. He gets Tyreek Hill back. Travis Kelce should have a big season. Mecole Hardman, the rookie from Georgia, he looked impressive in his debut in preseason. So I got Mahomes at number 4. Number 5, I mentioned earlier. I'm rolling with Zeke Elliott at number 5. I think even though no contract, I feel like too good, too talented. I think he's going to get a contract offer by the time the regular season starts in week 1. So I got him at number 5. Now I'm going to number 6. Number 6, I think his stock has climbed up too, and I think he could possibly be a top 3 pick. And I'm talking about Le'Veon Bell. I think Bell, he even apologized to his fantasy owners, man. And I feel like he's going to get a huge load for this offense, and what he could do from the back. As far as running the ball, he could block, also catch the ball off the backfield. Le'Veon Bell, when healthy, he's one of the most consistent running backs in the entire league. So I got him number 6. Number 7, I'm going with Julio Jones at number 7. Julio Jones, one of the best wide receivers in the league. Like I said, I'm going off of PPR standards, and nobody catches the ball more than Julio Jones, and he's going to get some help, and I think he'll get more looks on the end zone, and I'm pretty sure that was discussed during the offseason, getting Julio in the end zone more, getting more red zone looks. So I got Julio at number 7. Number 8, I'm going Todd Gurley at number 8. I think Gurley, man, he's dropped significantly also compared to last season. And Gurley, he's a top running back. I think Gurley's going to prove a lot of people wrong this season. Because last year he was number 1, man, clear cut, number 1. Even True had a number 1. Now he's dropped down to everybody's list. I feel like he's going to go in there and prove a lot of people wrong, and I think eventually his stock will go up and people will eventually request a trade for him. So I got him at number 8. He possibly could be a top 5 pick, but right now I got him at 8. Number 9, I'm rolling with DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers in the league, obviously. We all know what he could do, catching the ball, yards after the catch. He could get it in the end zone. And that offense is looking really good right now, man. The running game is a bit sketchy, but as long as you have Hopkins in there, I think they'll be fine. So I got them at number 9. And my last pick for number 10, it was a toss-up between actually who was it? It was a toss-up actually between David Johnson and Travis Kelce. And I have to go with Travis Kelce, man. Travis Kelce, he's proved year after year, especially at a tight end, putting the type of numbers he's putting up. And then you got Patrick Mahomes supporting him, throwing him the ball. So I'm skeptical about David Johnson right now. So I'm rolling with Travis Kelce, ending off my top 10. So that's actually my top 10 fantasy picks in fantasy football as of right now.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You have Julio as the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football right now.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know in the draft you took DeAndre Hopkins over Julio Jones. I'm just trying to understand the philosophy because that was a couple of weeks ago. So perspective can change where you can say, you know what, a couple of weeks ago I had Zeke as the number one guy. Now I have him on the back end. So I get it.
Well, so I feel like you can't really go wrong if somebody picks Julio over DeAndre Hopkins or somebody pick Hopkins off of Julio. I think that one is just based off of preference. Like, you can't really go wrong if you pick one over the other. So that's how I feel. I feel like there's 1 week where I like Julio more than DeAndre Hopkins. There's another week, then I'll be like, man, I like Julio over Hopkins more, and that's how I feel today.
Okay, I respect. I just want to get clarification on that, and no David Johnson in your top 10, right?
Right.
Okay. So outside of that, me and KEO have a lot of the same things. Of course, I got David Johnson in my top 10, and let me be the first to tell you I'm going to shock y'all with something else. Okay, so the number one guy on my draft board right now, if I have the first pick of the draft, I've said it, Zeke is dropped. The number one guy, my new number one, especially in PPR, by landslide, is one, Alvin Kamara. It is not about me being biased. AK-41 is in the draft. When you think about the touches this guy's going to get, you got Michael Thomas there, you got Jared Cook there, you got Ted Ginn there, you got Drew Brees, you got Sean Payton as an offensive genius. Alvin Kamara is going to get the ball in ways that, it is going to be beautiful to watch. That team is going to score. The same problem is, can they stop anybody? They're going to score points. So Alvin Kamara, to me, is a can't-miss prospect. And when you have the number one pick, you want to get somebody that you just can't miss with. Ryan Leaf had way more upside than Peyton Manning. Stronger arm, bigger guy. But Peyton Manning was the can't-miss prospect, so the coach made the right decision. So that's where it is I am with Alvin Kamara. My number two guy, it's official, baby. It's Saquon Barkley. He's officially came into my top two. He was number 3 before, now he's number 2. This is the perfect – I just gave the perfect analogy. Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. I'm not saying that Saquon Barkley is Ryan Leaf in a sense. That he's bigger, he's stronger, and people love him. He has all the measurables that he should go number 1. My concern is the Giants' offense. My concern is that Eli Manning's the starter. If Eli Manning's the starter is David Jones, shoot, I may consider taking Saquon Barkley over Alvin Kamara. That is very, very likely or even a good chance that it could happen that way. But as of now, today, as we're doing this show, I got Saquon Barkley number 2. Number 3 is Christian McCaffrey. Me and KEO both have Christian McCaffrey at number 3. I agree with him. This guy, he's kind of like Alvin Kamara. My hesitation with him is I don't know what's up with Carolina, man. I don't know how good they're going to be. Are they going to be good? Is Cam going to be healthy? That concerns me. But I do like Christian McCaffrey because he does catch the ball. He does run the ball. PPR leagues. This dude should be beautiful to watch, and it should be awesome. My number 4 guy is Le'Veon Bell. I like what KEO said, and that's the truth. This dude apologized to his fantasy owners. They got a young quarterback in Sam Darnold. I think they're going to let Le'Veon Bell do his thing. I saw the running backs for the Jets in preseason, the backup guys. They're not Le'Veon Bell. I like Le'Veon Bell at the 4 spot. Now, I will say, next week this could flip-flop because I like this guy too, and I think that people are disrespecting him, and that's Todd Gurley at number 5. I like Todd Gurley at number 5. There's no way on no scenario I'm taking Zeke Elliott over Todd Gurley right now with both of their situations. I know Todd Gurley hasn't been healthy, but Todd Gurley wasn't healthy coming out of college, and he went top 10, and then whoever drafted Todd Gurley, they most likely won fantasy football because this dude was a beast. This dude can rebound from an injury. I've seen it before. I'm not about to doubt him. That offense is going to score. Low key, there could be a scenario before the season starts. I know our big draft, the NBS League, is not until September 1st. If I see some glances of from Todd Gurley in the preseason in week 3 that make me believe, shoot, there's a chance Todd Gurley can move up to number 1 with me. He's talented. He has everything. The offense is great. This dude could be a bona fide superstar. Last year, KEO said it. He was the number 1 guy. So nothing changes. But he's definitely top 5 now for me, and he comes in at number 5. At 6 is the guy that's not on KEO's board, and that's David Johnson. If I get the 6th pick, I'm taking David Johnson. I saw enough out of Kyler Murray for me to believe in David Johnson now. David Johnson has all the measurables, big guy, fast guy, can catch the ball at the backfield. You don't want to let that slip into the second round. To me, that's just crazy if you just let that slip to the second round. Coming in at number 7, I got Patrick Mahomes. Now, this was hard. I will tell y'all. Him and my 8th pick, I kind of went back and forth, but Patrick Mahomes has so much value as far as the quarterback position that you can possibly trade him. That you can basically trade him for anybody that you want if he gets off to a hot start. And the Chiefs look good. What's it called? When he's the starter. So I got Patrick Mahomes at number 7. My number 8 guy is Travis Kelce. I'm a little higher on him than KEO is. KEO has him on the right there, borderline first round, top 10 pick. Kelce's the number 8 guy for me. No debate. Of course, if Zeke is playing, then of course Zeke moves past him. But Kelce comes in at number 8. And if I have a decision to make out of Kelce or DeAndre Hopkins or Julio, I'm taking Travis Kelce because I can hit on a receiver later on that can do what Julio and DeAndre Hopkins does. I can't get many people that can do what Travis Kelce does. So Travis Kelce comes in at number 8 for me. Number 9. This is the one that's about to shock the world, baby. It's a wide receiver, but it's not DeAndre Hopkins or Julio Jones. It's Odell Beckham Jr. That's right, baby. I have a top 10 pick. I'm taking Odell Beckham, number 1 wide receiver. That offense is going to score some points. I think Odell Beckham has tremendous trade value. Last year, I traded Odell Beckham and up for Zeke Elliot. This dude has trade value. People, for whatever reason, will trade you for Odell Beckham. If you get Odell Beckham, and if you can't get the guy that you want, you better get some trade value. People will be hesitant on DeAndre Hopkins. Some people, I love DeAndre Hopkins. I think that people will be like, I don't really like DeAndre Hopkins like that. People love Julio, but people don't like Julio because he doesn't score touchdowns, and he's getting up there in age. And the Falcons have basically taken some steps back in a lot of people's minds. So people can stay away from Julio and be like, no, Julio's cool, but I'm not trading one of my stud running backs for that. But Odell Beckham with the Cleveland Browns, in that offense with Baker Mayfield, people are going to trade you for Odell Beckham. So coming in at number 9 for me is Odell Beckham. And then what rounds out my number 10 pick, obviously, is Zeke Elliot. I just can't pass up on him. If I have the 10th pick in the draft, if he's sitting there at number 10, I feel like it's worth the gamble. I can't see me taking Julio or Hopkins or one of those guys over Zeke because I'd be so mad if I took them and Zeke came back. I'd be like, man, I could have had Zeke Elliott the 10th pick. So Zeke's not out my top 10, but he does come in at number 10. With Odell, I feel like I can trade him for anybody. That's why he's at 9. 8, Travis Kelce. You get tremendous value there. 7, Patrick Mahomes. 6, David Johnson. 5, Todd Gurley. 4, Le'Veon Bell. 3, Christian McCaffrey. 2, Saquon Barkley. And once again, the number 1 pick overall in your fantasy draft should be in a PPR league, Alvin Kamara. Woohoo! So what you think, KEO?
That's interesting. You got Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello? Are we here? Are you still rocking?
Yeah. I'm good. Okay, so I remember one thing I was surprised by with your top 10 is you got it's still a high pick, but you got Travis Kelce lower than I thought, because I remember you said that there's a possibility that some people could take Travis Kelce as possibly a top 5 pick.
Yeah, but then my thing is with Travis Kelce, though I could take a number, I even said I could take a number 1. I had to really reevaluate that and say to myself, okay, is he worth the number 1 overall pick? If Todd Gurley's sitting there, he's sitting there, and we know how much more fantasy points a running back scores than a tight end. Can I truly justify me taking him over Todd Gurley? And I had to be honest with myself, and I had to back him up a little bit. And now I will say,
Apologize for that. The call got disconnected.
oh, we still on right now?
Yeah, we are. We're back.
Okay, I'm just saying that Travis Kelce, to me, I can make it definitely a case where I would take him over Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes has a little bit more trade value. That's what I always look for, trade value at a certain position. If I have Travis Kelce, the reason why I wouldn't take Odell Beckham over him is because if I have Travis Kelce, there's a chance that I'm not trading you, even if you offer me Odell Beckham for Travis Kelce. So that's why I slightly got Travis Kelce over Odell Beckham. But Odell Beckham to me is the wide receiver, the guy that you can get the most trade value out of, even over DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones. Plus, I think he can do what they can do. So if I had to take one right now in the first round, it would be Odell Beckham, hands down.
Interesting. Okay.
And I did say DeAndre Hopkins was my number 1 receiver as far as rankings. And I don't change that. I'm with DeAndre Hopkins. I think DeAndre Hopkins is a stud. But when you draft, you have to take into consideration trade value. If I'm in the 3rd round and let's just say I got my 2 running backs, right? I got my 2 running backs. Or let's say I'm in the 4th round and I got 2 good running backs and Travis Kelce. And I'm in the 4th round. And there's really not a guy that I feel like I need to take at this moment. So let's say I can go take a quarterback. I can take, let's just say, Tom Brady. If Zach Ertz is sitting there, I'm taking Zach Ertz. Because the trade value is more with Zach Ertz. It's not always about filling out your team. People get that confused sometimes. We look at a team and we be like, let's fill out our team instead of getting the most value out the pick. Now, of course, you got to fill out your team, but you also got to get a good value at it. You have to get good value at your pick. You don't take who's somebody. Okay, like right now I'm not high on Marlon Mack. There's no way I'm taking Marlon Mack in the 3rd or 4th round when I have Zach Ertz or Travis Kelce sitting right there. Because Travis Kelce may go 4th round. He may go 3rd round in some leagues. But if he's sitting there, why would I take Marlon Mack? Because I need a running back? Man, I can wait a few rounds to get Tony Michel. I can wait a few rounds to get Tariq Cohen. I don't have to take Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack's trade value is nowhere near Travis Kelce. If you have Marlon Mack and I have Travis Kelce, you think I'm going to trade you Travis Kelce for Marlon Mack, even though you drafted Marlon Mack before Travis Kelce? Hell no. And we have to look at things like that. And that's all I'm saying.
Okay, interesting.
But
I wanted to since we got some time left, I wanted to ask you about players, two players that are coming off of an injury. Would you take a chance on one of these two players, or would you pass on these two players? And I'm talking about guys that are coming off an injury, and that's Cam Newton and Carson Wentz.
I wouldn't pass on either one of those players. Like that, those are formidable quarterbacks, especially Carson Wentz. I think I'd be more prone to want to take Carson Wentz. That offense is crazy loaded. They have a lot of talent, a lot of weapons. I just brought up Zach Ertz. You're talking about somebody like Deshaun Jackson, Nelson Aguilar, who I really like a lot. I think if they can, find ways to get him the ball, that'd be great. You got Alshon Jeffrey. That team is really good. That team is really, really good. I like where the Eagles are going. I think Carson Wentz is an outstanding pick. Cam Newton, on the other hand, I'm a little bit more reserved as far as Cam Newton, but he's definitely draftable. Definitely, to me, Carson Wentz is definitely a top 10 quarterback. No doubt about it. If you're telling me that Carson Wentz is not top 10, you're ridiculous. And Cam Newton is probably top 10, if not top 12. I would probably say Cam Newton. Cam Newton, it'd be interesting. If I had Cam Newton on the board or Kyler Murray, I would consider taking Kyler Murray. I'm not saying I would, but I would consider it because I think his trade value is going to be going up soon. And it's probably up there right now. Now, Carson Wentz, there's no way in the world I'm taking Kyler Murray over Carson Wentz. No way. Carson Wentz can win MVP this year. That's how good he is.
I got Wentz as an MVP candidate this year. I just like the weapons around him, man. And I think, he got his back against the wall with Nick Foles not there, and people seeing what Nick Foles has been able to do the last two seasons. I like Wentz's chances, and he got weapons around him. He got the rookie Miles Sanders. They added the running back Howard from Chicago. Deshaun Jackson, Jeffrey's there. Obviously, we know about Zach Ertz. I like Carson Wentz. I think I think a lot of fantasy owners should definitely take a chance on him. If guys like Rodgers, Luck, Mahomes are not available, I think those are the two guys you should go after. Okay, so what about the two? And I hate to call them old, but obviously they're getting at age right now. Drew Brees and Tom Brady. How high can these guys go? Would you take them over Carson Wentz and Drew Brees? Obviously, we're not going to take them over, Luck, Rodgers, and Mahomes. But where do you see these guys at?
Carson Wentz is above both of them to me. Well, I don't know about over Drew Brees, but I'm taking him over Tom Brady. I'm taking Carson Wentz over Tom Brady. I would probably take him over Drew Brees as well, because Drew Brees, it depends on what league you're in. Like with us, and KEO knows this, I would consider taking Drew Brees only because we play with a lot of Saints fans, and Saints fans will trade you. You have to understand value in who you're playing with. And we go back to that value thing. I would consider it because I know I could probably get a good trade for Drew Brees. But overall, if I was just playing randomly with random guys that were all across the world, like the KEOs and my man Yvonne and my man Antonio and Jasper, well, Jasper likes Drew Brees too. But those guys, then I'd take Carson Wentz. But Carson Wentz is definitely over Tom Brady and Drew Brees. I do think Drew Brees is the top 10 quarterback, though. I think Tom Brady's a top 10 quarterback. I think Brady was probably my 10th quarterback. I can't say that I would take Kyler Murray over Tom Brady. I may, but I don't know if I would. So I guess Tom Brady's like right on that borderline top 10. He's around the Cam Newton, Kyler Murray area. I'm trying to think, okay, so like let me just go off the top of my head. We're going to just go off the top of my head who I would definitely take top 10. Patrick Mahomes for sure. He's a top 10 pick in my mind. Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, Carson Wentz, Russell Wilson's top 10 to me. Deshaun Watson's top 10. I'm not going in no particular order neither, so don't go by my order. Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson. Drew Brees in that top 10. That's 8. And then I'm trying to think around. Throw me a name. I'll tell you if he's top 10 or not.
Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield's top 10, so that's 9. I think I would take Tom Brady 10 over them dudes, the rest of them dudes. So, yeah, Brady's 10, and then probably like Cam Newton would be 11 to me, and then Phillip Rivers probably be – I think I would take Kyler Murray over Phillip Rivers.
Wow.
It's no knock to Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers is a good quarterback, but Phillip Rivers, he lets me down in the back end of my leagues when I had him one year, and I'm still a lot of people with him, and he lets a lot of people down in the back end. He always has that bad game at the end of the year that really hurts you, kind of like Matthew Stafford. Since Calvin Johnson's retired, Matthew Stafford just lets you down. Matthew Stafford, I've seen get drafted late in rounds now. Like, Matthew Stafford's not even considered where he once was. So, yeah, I would probably stay away from Phillip Rivers a little bit, but it's not saying he's a terrible quarterback. He's still top 15, but he's not top 10. I would say Brady's at 10, Brees around 9-ish, 8-ish. But, yeah, Baker Mayfield's definitely top 10.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's stock is definitely high this year. A lot of people got him. That's like one of the first 4 quarterbacks to be taken in this year's draft.
That's ridiculous. No way. No way in the world. If I see somebody take Baker Mayfield over, not saying he will have a better year, but you have to look at trade value. There's no way I'm taking him over your Patrick Mahomes, Andrew Luck, Aaron Rodgers. I would even take Carson Wentz over Baker Mayfield. So those 4.
I just wouldn't be surprised if somebody took Baker Mayfield after those 3 quarterbacks.
And I can see what you're saying now, but definitely not over those 3 at the top. The 3 at the top is like no debate to me. Oh, and Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's top 5 to me at quarterback.
Yeah, Watson's
Watson
stock
over Wentz. I would take Watson over Wentz.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's a toss-up. It's just who you like more, and man, that's interesting though, because we don't really know what to expect from Wentz. On paper, it looks good for Wentz, but Watson has shown it on the field. And Watson has shown it. He had a major injury in his first season, and he bounced back. And Watson showed that he could do it. Hopefully, Wentz could show that he could do it also after being injured the last 2 seasons. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jared Goff is on the outside looking in the top 10 too. Just somebody else that I just thought about.
Yeah, I'm surprised Jared Goff is not high on that board, man. Their offense did pretty well, and they get all their weapons back. They get Cooper Kupp back. They get Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks. This offense is loaded, and I'm surprised his value is not as high as these quarterbacks out there right now.
Yeah, I think Jared Goff is like on the outside of top 10 because you don't take him over Brady or Brees to me right now. But he's in that Cam Newton, Phillip Rivers, Kyler Murray discussion after 10 to me. Because I can see a scenario where Kyler Murray gets drafted before Jared Goff. I'm not saying that he'll be better, but in that scenario, and like I said, I know I forgot to mention him, Russell Wilson, man. Russell Wilson's a top 10 quarterback. We have to.
Yep, he is.
So I have to like him, but the dude puts up good fantasy numbers year in and year out, and you have to respect him. So I got him in my top 10 for sure. Yeah,
definitely. All right, we're gonna go to our last one before we wrap it up, and wide receivers has always been a discussion in fantasy football. So, is there a wide receiver that you think will be a bust this year?
Antonio Brown.
Wow. Okay, besides Antonio Brown, let's.
Besides Antonio Brown, the guy that I think will not live up to the height of what he's getting. I have one on right now. I'm trying to think of somebody else that I think is a little bit more. Okay. The guy that would not live up to the hype, and when I draft him, yes, I would draft him. I think he's a good wide receiver. But I saw a draft where he got drafted way too high. And I'm talking about Juju Smith-Schuster.
Wow. You serious?
There's no way on God's green earth this dude should ever get drafted as the fourth best wide receiver in fantasy football. Not to me. The trade value is not there. I don't see it. I see he's good. He's really good. But to sit here and act as if this dude is about to have a better year than, okay, I think in our draft that we had KEO, I think Juju went fourth out of all receivers. I want to say he went fourth. I think the only three that went before him was, I don't even know if Julio, I lied, he went third. Hold on, I'm about to pull it, hold on. I know we have a live show going on, but the good thing about me is I got our fantasy big boy from the other draft the other day. Let me pull it out. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see. So the reason why I say he's not going to live up to the hype is because I was thinking to myself, I said, wow, they drafted that dude that high. No, you must have it, but I did take a picture of it. So let me see real quick. I know I got a picture of it in my phone. Let's see where we did it. Because KEO was here. There we go. All right. Juju Smith-Schuster went before Julio Jones in the draft. Now, I want you to think about that. You just said, KEO, Julio Jones is the number one wide receiver in fantasy football. Most have Julio Jones as some people have him in the first round. In our draft, Juju Smith-Schuster was the fourth receiver taken. I lied, fifth receiver taken. But I got to tell you, we play with Saints fans. So Michael Thomas went 1, Hopkins went 2, Odell went 3, Devontae Adams went 4, and Juju Smith-Schuster went 5. Juju Smith-Schuster got drafted before Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, Julio Jones, Travis Kelce, Mike Evans. Come on, man. You going to tell me Juju Smith-Schuster is going to have that kind of year? I don't buy it. I don't believe it. So, for me, Juju Smith-Schuster is the guy that's probably going to have around, I'll say, 1,100 receiving yards. He may have 7, 8 touchdowns. But if you're thinking he's about to have 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns, 15 touchdowns, I think that you're overhyping yourself. He's not about to be among the elite like that to me. He'll be a really good wide receiver. He'll be a good wide receiver to start, but he would not live up to the hype that I'm seeing. And I've heard people saying that they would take him early in the second round. That's crazy to me. I would not take Juju Smith-Schuster in the second round. But that's me.
a guy that I think will be a bust this season, and I've seen people take this guy with their first overall pick. I'm not saying that they had the number one overall pick, but their first round pick. I'm going with I'm rolling with Tyreek Hill, man. I think Tyreek Hill. I think if there was one wide receiver that I had to pick as a bust, that would be Tyreek Hill, man. I think especially with Combs going into his second season, a lot of people said he may have a sophomore slump. And Tyreek Hill, when you talk about wide receivers, he's a big play receiver, man. He goes for the home run, man. If you want to talk about, skill set, route running, and comparing to the other wide receivers, I just don't think it's not even close. And I think it's just the system that Tyreek Hill is in. If Mahomes struggles, then Tyreek Hill will struggle. And I think defenses will defensive backs will definitely key in on him. So I got Tyreek Hill.
All right, I know we got to wrap up this show in a second, but I just want to say this: I disagree with that in a sense. I get where you're going with it. Tyreek Hill actually made a mistake. Tyreek Hill actually was in the first round of our draft as well. Like I said, this dude loves Tyreek Hill. He loves the Chiefs, so he took him in the first round. But Tyreek Hill, to me, is not going to be a bust. He shouldn't be a first-round draft pick either, though. But he won't be a bust because that offense is just too potent. Y'all know how I feel about the Chiefs. You can't. It's not even about doubling Tyreek Hill. You still got to stop Travis Kelce. You got to stop Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is going to throw it to everybody. So I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to be a bust. I think Tyreek Hill is going to have those big games. He's going to have those long touchdowns. He's going to get over the top of the defense because he's just so fast. Patrick Mahomes can reach him. I wouldn't take him in the first round. I probably wouldn't even take him in the second round. But if Tyreek Hill's there in the third round, I would definitely take him over Juju Smith-Schuster. I can tell you that. No doubt about it, I would take Tyreek Hill over Juju Smith-Schuster. So let's start that debate before we wrap it up. Tyreek Hill or Juju Smith-Schuster, who you got?
Oh my God, man! Man, I'm going with Juju Smith. Man, he's the number one option there.
I'm glad you started that. So what we're gonna do is, I'm actually gonna post to my Facebook and Instagram. I'm gonna start starting the fantasy football question of the day. Who are you start taking? Who's that?
Oh, you bringing it back?
Huh?
I say you bringing it back.
Yep, right now. Woo-hoo.
Perfect.
But we can go ahead and wrap it up, boss.
All right, so shout out to crew holding it down today every single week. Make sure you tune into the NBS show as we this upcoming week we're gonna actually be breaking down picking our playoff teams in college football. So stay tuned for that. I do have Ivan's picks. He's still in Croatia right now, so shout out to him. He'll be back soon. Shout out to Jasper, Big Mike, Marlon, and Ray out over there, man. And thanks for everybody that supports and tunes into the show. Besides that, we'll see you next week on the Startem Sitem show.
Definitely. Shout out to KEO, man. Always a pleasure. Always a good time, man. Startem Sitem show. I'm telling you, this is my favorite show. Even though I love nothing but sports shows, everybody knows how much I love fantasy football. Like, in reality, I think I should be doing, like, me and KEO and the group should be doing a fantasy football show on Facebook, and maybe we'll start that soon. Hopefully, me and KEO gets that done. But I love fantasy football. This is my favorite show that we do, and I just can't wait for next week to talk it even more. But we're about to post it, y'all. Juju Smith-Schuster, and Tyreek Hill. Who has the better year this year? With that being said, I am Triggs the Sports Director. This is Startem Sitem Show, and we out. Peace.